So welcome back, Kate Steele, who very kindly let us film a fitting 6 months ago. And so we thought we just had a little look at a club just to infill a bit of a gap in the bag. But thought we'd have a little bit of a recap on kind of where the game is now relative to when we came in and what you found kind of difference-wise from the clubs. So we'll get a few shots worth, a bit of a comparison.
Yep. So I'm now a 23 handicap and I was a 29. So I've cut 6 shots and I think that's mainly due to distance and just using clubs that are not a beginner set, like being fitted for proper clubs, so it's really helped.
It's a great improvement. I mean, you think you're 6 shots off, it's sort of, I'm trying to think percentage-wise, sort of 20% off.
That's a lot.
Pretty useful. Sounds about close, someone will correct me though. But yeah, I mean, it's a great improvement. I think what it really goes to show is for any level of golfer, that actually how, from a club point of view, obviously we'll have a look at some of the data in a moment, but how the clubs really can help. It doesn't matter what your standard is, you can be pro or you can be a 30 handicapper. Ultimately, the clubs are here to help. And you must be playing well as well. So
yeah.
Very well done.
I hope so. Yeah.
Right, let's get a few shots and then we'll watch a hit a few and then we'll have a catch up with the data and see how it's changed.
Sounds good, yep. That was all right, wasn't it?
I was going to say that one went well. It's quite well overhead, I thought. But yeah, so it's been 6 months or so now, and actually through a not great time of year.
No.
So we're just now starting to get conditions that it's really quite fun to play. But yeah, what have you found? What have been the biggest differences on course? Obviously, we get data here, but actually playing with them, what have you found?
So I'm actually on a par 4. I'm actually reaching the green in 2 now,
okay,
and I could never do that before. And par 3s, I'm actually getting on the green, whereas before I was a little bit short.
Right. So the distance game is the biggest thing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and the forgiveness of the irons, especially.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the beginner set, if I didn't hit it well, it didn't go anywhere. Whereas these, they're actually going. Even if I don't hit a very good shot, they're actually going.
And it's actually a bit ironic, really, isn't it? You think the beginner set would actually be really forgiving and be really good across the face, whereas actually, and that's actually where, for you in particular, versus the set you had, going a bit heavier and the shafts getting a bit more mass on the bottom end, actually really suits you.
Yeah.
So where the others are a little lighter, there's kind of less to hit against. Whereas these, like that shot, you can see the weight of the club head tick you down to the ball, and then up goes the flight. So it's actually rewarding you for putting a good swing on rather than almost sort of punishing you.
Yeah.
Which is great to hear. Yeah, no, lovely. Yeah, really nice pitcher ball flight. So we went for this head, the high launch and the 925 to get that elevation. So from a 6-iron to get 18 launch, over 4,000 spin, that's really good because we're now seeing flight height, 47 feet. So looking at kind of 16 yards. But to get that 18-degree launch, it's really hence we added a 5-iron for Kate after.
Yeah.
said need something to go a bit further. Can you build me a 5-iron? And I was like, you sure you want a 5-iron? She's like, yeah, I want a 5-iron. And yeah, I mean, there's so much height there that makes the 5-iron no issue at all. Really nice trajectory on that.
Yeah, I use the 5-iron a lot, so it's good we did that.
Yes, and what's also nice for me watching you swing this now is where we pitch them at a level that kind of challenge you a little bit. Because we don't want you to go out of them in no time at all, and I can still see there's plenty to hit against. Your really nice strong move through the ball, but the path's nice and stable, and the club's arriving with you rather than we don't want you to overpower it again and start to lose the club. So again, the whole idea with where you're at with your golf is to give you something you can develop with and improve with, and so those few hits there. I mean, looking at really nice shots, 20 launch, 18 launch, got a little bit of ground of that, still 19 launch, but they're all down pretty narrow channel directionally, so really nice. Very pleased.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So before we started, Kate said to me, I don't really use my 6-iron very much.
No, I don't.
Because she's gone onto the 5-iron to hit it further. It's actually just striped
I feel
3
like
out
I've
of
hit
4
that
of
further,
those.
haven't I?
Yeah. Just looks like I never use anything else. Yeah.
Maybe I should use it more.
But I think what that also shows is, again, going back to, look, you've clearly, the swing line's really nice, you've clearly done a lot of work on your game, but again, going back to what the clubs are letting you get is the consistency of performance. And that, whatever level you're at, is so important. So you can stand there at basically 130 odd yards out, pitching it sort of anywhere between kind of 112, 117. It's only a few yards either way. And it's showing you what you're doing with the swing. It's going nice and straight. So it'd be interesting. Actually, now's a good time just to compare that to where we were last time. So from a, this is today. We hit a couple of 5-irons earlier. I'll get rid of that one. But in terms of the 6-iron data here, is just taking that off screen. I'm just going to lose the bottom bit so we've got more screen room. So club speed was just under 59 before, 63 now. Ball speed on average 73, that's 84. Now some of that's the consistency of strike you're now getting is really, really good. The quality of strike, 136 efficiency to 125 on the smash. So you're transferring much more of your club speed into ball speed, which is great. And 3 degrees higher on launch. So we've seen a real, seen a real improvement there. Club path really still nice and neutral, face angle still nice and neutral, but your carries really, really noticeably up. That's a huge improvement. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. But and it's consistency of it. Again, you've got 9 yards top to bottom, a few hundred revs on the spin, but that's a really consistent shot there. So I put it onto dispersion. Again, we see there's one that's a little less well hit, but actually you're within 15 yards, probably 12 yards left to right dispersion, and top to bottom's pretty good as well. So yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
And then comparing the wood, we had a couple of woods earlier as well. So you can see here that there's another 4 miles an hour club speed gain, 8 on ball speed. So we're looking at another 12 odd yards gain there. So, and again, a little bit more spin because you're hitting a little bit harder. But slightly steeper delivery, so launch down, but still plenty of height and carry. So what's great to see is that 15 yards of carry with the fairway wood, and maybe a little bit more gain on the irons, but it's really kind of carrying with you, which is really nice. So yeah, it's great. Slightly better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't normally go that well. But yeah, but it also shows how much hard work you put in as well. Which goes without, it's ultimately you don't get that kind of game without putting the practice in. So.
But also that forward in November, that was like the best I've ever hit a forward, because obviously I was using worse clubs beforehand. So to gain that much in 6 months, and that for me was amazing, coming here and being fit for that forward.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that you can then obviously get used to a club and then just, amazing games.
Hence what we're doing today with the distance, the extra distance on the forward. And that sort of stretched that out. We're now having to plug the gap between that and the irons. Well, it would have been more of a gap had you not added in the 5-iron.
Yeah.
But that then, again, to let you attack the course a little bit more, have a better club for par 3s, have a different option, and not having to either play for the back edge of the green or short of it. That shows a real progression in your game as well. To now be saying, actually, I need an option to give me something rather than just somewhere up there.
Yeah.
So that shows a real kind of step change in how you're playing your game. So very well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, great results that we've seen from the progression you made in your swing, and some great results from the clubs we fitted last November. What are the plans for the game now? What are the goals for the game the rest of the year?
So I've got my first comp on Friday. So England iGolf comp, so that's exciting. We've got a pairs comp a week today, so that's exciting. But I set myself a goal in January, and it was to get to an 18 handicap. And in January I was a 28, I think, and I'm now a 23. So it was like 10 shots. So I've done 6 shots. I've got a few more to do until January 2026. So
6 shots is great, but it's always nice to have something to kind of keep kind of pushing forward. And that's the thing with golf. There's always something that can improve. I think the hybrid that we're going to put in between fairway and 5-iron, that definitely will help from a, say, not having to play for the wrong end of a green in a par 3. That's going to save a few shots. But awesome to have that challenge. And very, very well done with the game. So it's brilliant to see. So enjoyable for us to see these kind of results coming back in, but to see how much your hard work's being rewarded. So yeah, really good.
Yeah,
so,
thank you so much.
Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing that, and a bit of a kind of a check over from something we've done before and a fitting we've seen before. If you like the videos, check out Kate's partner's video, Chris's video, and his fitting, which will be going onto the channel soon, and you can see what we can do for him. But thanks again, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.